Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 in the north, and then we'll end with Team 2 in the south. I do want to make a note before I introduce these teams and players that this is a persist after death game, which means even if the commander is defeated, the player still continues to play unless they decide to give everything over to one of their teammates. So just make that a note somewhere, because again, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Starting off on the western side, we have in Barbie Pink, it is Moore. He's playing as a Cybran. He is an 1100. Also note, he's the only Cybran in the game. To his northeast, we have in Lightish Red Pink, it is Plum playing as a Seraphim. He is a 1500. So the pink players are on Team 1 on the western side. Moving on southeast, where we have in Batman Gray, it is Sabdex playing as a UEF. He is a 1400. In Tropical Ocean Blue here for Team 1, we have Pokerstein playing as an Aeon. He is a 1200. In Orange Color Orange to his northeast, we have the Seraphim of MSG. He is a 1600. And rounding off Team 1, we have in Light Oak Tan, it is the Aeon of Nomander. He is playing as a 2600, the highest rated player on Team 1. And in the game overall by a large margin, 700 points separates him from the second highest rated player of the game and Team 2's highest rated player. So again, it is an HVT for Team 2 to take out and for Team 1 to protect, given just that huge rating between those two. Which means for Team 1 side of the map, they have one UEF. They have the only Cybran in the game being Moore. They also have 2 Aeons and 2 Seraphim. So all other factions are represented on Team 1 side of the map. Moving on to their Team 2 side of the map, moving on to their eastern side first, we have in Blood Angel Red, it is Outer Loper playing as a UEF. He is a 1200. In Amethyst Purple to his west, we have the Seraphim of Velarone. He is a 1600. Next door to him, we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Extra Mass Blocker as an Aeon, also a 1600. And in Imperial Gray to his west, it is Vessel 4AK playing as a 1300 again as a Seraphim. In Rust to his southwest, we have the Seraphim of Zum. He is a 1700. And rounding off Team 2, we have in Emerald Green, it is Celine Undalata playing as an Aeon, the highest rated player on Team 2 at 1900 rating. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 1 UEF, 0 Cybrans. They also have 2 Aeon and then 3 Seraphim. So not all the factions are represented on Team 2 and Team 1. Well, actually on Team 1. But they are represented in the game overall, so nobody's missing out on the fun. And for these 12 players on the map, of course, they're scouring the map for that reclaim, currently sitting at... And this is the problem with putting it in that northwestern corner, at 45,000 mass and reclaim, which... It is a lot of reclaim, to be fair. We've had matches with less and more than that, which makes it about 4,000 mass per player. I'll round it out to 48,000 to make the math easy in my head. And it is, like I said, the everywhere on the map, except for the middle of the map, where there's a nice little pond shaped kind of like an H, you know, like this. So maybe we'll see a lot of naval play. Maybe we won't. We already see both teams going for Navy, at least in some degree, so maybe it'll be a focus. But again, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of land on the western and eastern sides of the map. There are a decent amount of extra mexes on the map for each team to grab. We'll take a look at Team 2's. Notably, there is a 5-star mex position here and a 7-star mex position pretty much down here. So lots of additional income for the more backline players, roughly. And then we have a Trimex position on that little peninsula there. And some splattering of mexes dotted, of course, on the eastern and western and in between all of the starting locations. We already see a gun upgrade started here for Team 1's Nomander on the eastern front. Maybe we'll go for speed. Maybe we'll go for intelligence. We'll see. We do have gun upgrade started for Velarone a little bit further back for Team 2. Speaking of comms and their movements and whatnot, we have 2 players on Team 1 being MSG and Nomander versus Outer Loper and Velarone. In the middle, we might see comm become action, but I don't expect too much. It looks like it's going to be 2v2, at least in Navy. Maybe 3v3 if we... Oh, no, it's going to be 2v2. It is Extra Mass Blocker and Vessel. I will note That Veteran also is in the pond, but again, the comms probably will not be engaging one another, at least as of right now. Gun upgrade also started for Team 2's Vessel. To the west, we have Team 2's Selene and Zum versus Team 1's Plum and more. So it looks like 2v2s on the eastern and western side, maybe a 3v2 on that western side for Team 2, but we'll see. He's moving in that direction, so most likely. Gun speed started for Selene, done with the range upgrade. MSG going for a T2 upgrade. Nomad goes for the speed and range upgrades on board his Aeon Commander. We do see T2 Navy already online for Sabdex, going for Destroyer. And then probably going to switch over to cruisers because the UEF have the missiles on board. Team 2 also has... I didn't even notice Belarus's also in Navy. We have T2 Navy also online for Extra Blast Blocker and for Team 2's Vessel. I think I'm saying... Yeah, I'm saying it. I always want to say Mass Blockader for some reason. We do see that he's now joining the Eastern Front, so it's going to be 3v3 in favor for Team 2 on both sides of the map. So maybe we'll see players for Team 1 in the pond start to shift one way or the other. Large group of forces inbound from Team 2. Selene pushing around the pond, or over the pond, I should say, with that hover tech on board. They might actually just avoid all of that fighting on the land situation and kind of hook in that way. Some forces go home and some forces go in, so we'll see a nice little mixture of both. Destroyer is online. Team 2 is unable to stop it. Destroyer also online for Team 2, so there's that. We do see Blazes inbound. Again, hover tech can be very, very nice for moving units not only across the map vertically, but also across the map horizontally. And we do see some forces also inbound for Valorant using that hover to their advantage. In terms of hover tech, at least at the Team 1 and T2 stage, 5 of the 6 players on Team 2 have hover at T1, and then Outerloper does count with his nice little Riptides at T2, but there's a lot of hover tech for Team 2. Team 1, there are 4 players, the only ones being more in Sabdex that don't have access to a lot of hover, or any at all. Given Cyber and Tech more going for a gun upgrade. We have Selene pushing in on the western side. Does have a lot of forces here, but does have to be careful because, again, could get caught unawares. But again, as well, players do not get quote-unquote defeated just because their comm dies. Speaking of which, Outerloper losing a lot of hit points. And we do see Nomad falling back with his forces. Not his comm because he's going for the kill. Nomader's dropping hit points into the yellow, probably about 50%. And there he goes. Team 2 loses the first comm of the game. But as you can see, no death little notification on screen. And Team 2 also loses Velarone right after that, engaging with MSG from Team 1. So 2 comms dead on the eastern side, but the players not so as of yet, unless they decide to gift everything over. We do see Team 2 is pushing pretty heavily in the middle. T2 Naval Headquarters still online for now. Multiple destroyers and frigates and cruiser online, pushing into that position there. Selene is pushing in quite heavily, so we'll see how far he gets northward. Again, Team 2 definitely needs a win. Players are still in the game, to be fair, in terms of everything else, but if Team 2, of course, loses all of the commanders on their side of the map, they lose anyway, so they have to be careful with that deficit in comms. We do see Nomad is taking some damage from the pillars here, but not terribly off for his veterancy. Already at 4 stars, closing in on now 5. Really just farming out that veterancy there. Missiles inbound from MSG, and Team 1's player of Sabdex gets destroyed there. I don't know if it was Control K or a straight up kill. Again, that is the one downside for not having the notification, is we don't actually know if it was one way or the other. We do see, again, the destroyers do have torpedoes on board, so that is a thing, but it does take a while even to kill off a commander in this game with just torps from a couple of destroyers, so we'll see. I do hear a bomber. There it is. Team 2 Strat Bomber is outbound, going after some mexes to the north there for Team 1. And now it is technically a 5v4 in favor for Team 1 with comms left alive, but again, the players are still in the game. We'll see how long each player decides to stay with it, depending on how they feel at the current or soon in the future moments. We do see mixes are now down in the eastern, southeastern side. A little bit of revenge, it looks like, for Team 1. Looks like everything from Sabdex was handed over to Plum, so maybe he's going to vacate the scene, so it might actually be a 5v6 in favor for Team 2. It's not unknown. I would have to know exactly in chat, like, oh, I'm leaving, or whatever else the case may be kind of thing. And Strat still dropping payload after payload after payload after payload. Finally shot down. He did very well for himself there. Multiple sets of mexes have been destroyed. Team 1's eco is lacking decently in favor for Team 2, about 100 mass or ish in favor. And I will note that now the Navy is under full control of Team 2, with forces starting to fall back to deal with this little missile annoyance from MSG. We do see mass blockader, sorry, extra mass blocker. I always want to say blockader. I don't know why. Starting to take some loss in hit points there. But MSG already at 11,000 mass killed. 5-star vet for that comm. Missile inbound. Looks like going after still more mexes on Team 2 side of the map. And Nomander sending in some Harbingers. Continue to thinning out the herd from Team 2. We do see some Ilshis starting to coagulate together. Team 2 on the western front. 2 comms are sitting in the pond right next to one another. Again, if there was a nuke, that might be a good place to fire at it. But as of right now, 15 minutes, it'd be a crazy fast nuke at 15 minutes. So, yeah, unlikely there to be blown up, at least at this point. Another strat bomber outbound from Zum. He's doing very well with his strats. That first one was just devastating. Team 2 now accelerating a little bit past 100, about 120 or so mass in favor. And Team 2's, let's see, that was probably extra mass blocker. He said, I forgot. The Harbingers came and said hi, and the Harbingers left without saying goodbye, it looks like. Or actually, I should say extra mass blocker left without saying goodbye. We do have more groups of Harbingers starting to amass. Missile inbound. Oh, it's the reclaim from the mechs. Looks like the Harbingers stole the kill for Team 1's MSG. And MSG getting hit by a strat bomber again. 5-star bet, still sitting at 6,000 hit points. It's going to take about 3 more payloads. Doesn't look like that is going to happen. Decap, I forgot again. Says extra mass blocker. Is that what it's actually called? Is decapitation? Is that the actual mode? And I like persist until death. I think it's fancier. It's like we have, share until death. We have not share after death, but it's like full share, partial share. I feel like something with share maybe would be appropriate. Strat bomber is going to get away from the interceptors from Nomander. Out, those swift ones? No, they're just interceptors. Team 2's forces using the pond again to their advantage, most of them at least. And now wreaking havoc to the middle of that map for Team 1. Gun range started for Pokerstein. And again, I will note, not a lot of stuff being destroyed, especially in the middle for Team 2, which means not a lot of mass being forced back into rebuilding stuff. But Team 2 is starting to lack in the lead. That could be power related at the bare minimum. Outerloper, no, you're fine. I don't know who it would necessarily be offhand, but their eco not looking too great. Team 1's eco also not looking great with all of these blazes from Team 2. Celine running around. We do see, of course, a Harbinger mixed in there as well. We do see forces from 2 players moving in to squish those units from Team 2. Team 2 still using the cruiser missile tech quite nicely, going after anything and everything that is not nailed down by TMD. Harbinger still running amok against Outerloper here on the east. We have 2 T2 Pigeons that will probably not live to see the end of the match, or just ignore that little Pigeon right there and not blow it up. Okay, just be like that. Okay, fine. We do see everything transferred over from Outerloper to Valeron. Looks like he might dip from the game. He's lost a significant portion of his stuff anyways, so he might just be helping out his teammate with some eco. And it looks like the remainder of those forces from Team 2 are slowly being routed, at least northward. Forces trying to get in front of them at a bare minimum. But again, the Harbingers do put out a lot of damage very quickly, so it's not an easy fight. And they are getting away from some of them, at least. Gunships and bombers inbound from Team 1 to maybe deal with that here shortly. Missiles inbound from the western side. Or is that T3 mobile? That is T3 mobile artillery. Not missiles, because they are not flying or going as fast. And Nomander carving away at the eastern front for Team 2. Not looking good. Multiple facilities. Strat Bomber is still alive. I will want to make a note of that. That thing is still not dead. We do see a nice little Autumn here. Kills off one of the Harbingers. Looks like some Harbingers are waiting for their shields to recharge. That Harbinger is going to get hit before, yep, its shield recharges. But again, Nomander's done a great job of really essentially excising one player's base at a bare minimum, and the mechs is in the background. It's a lot of mass gone. That's probably why Team 2 dropped an eco, to be fair. Team 1 also has dropped an eco in terms of how they were catching up to Team 2. It's still a lead for Team 2, and I will note there's still naval dominance for Team 2. Look at this section of the map they just have fully under their control bar. Of course, the peninsula on Team 1. Strat Bomber over top once again, going after the Harbinger. Did they miss? I think they must have missed. T1 PD almost destroyed. 200 hit points remaining. Going to do 100% of the damage even at 1% HP or even 1 HP. T3 started on board MSGs to kind of repair himself with 1,000 additional hit points and, of course, recharge or reload that missile even quicker. Western side, the pink player's doing decently, trying to defend against the cruiser spam and everything else they've been bombarded by. We have Moore sitting over here with Gun Nano on board. His Plum sitting with no upgrade on board. And has anybody else died that I didn't pay attention to, which would not be the first time? No, 3. Should be 1. No, there were 3 players dead on the eastern side. That's right. At least comms. Team 1 has only lost 1. Yeah, because I see all the other ones. So it is a 5v3 in the traditional sense, but it's still a 5v5 in the active players doing something with units kind of situation. And Nomad still not letting up on this eastern front, just will not let it go. He wants all of it. Bomber inbound still just not stopping, being a menace. 4,000 mass kill, but that one Strat Bomber, and even that other one was a menace as well. It did so much damage to Team 1's eco earlier on. Team 2 is just skyrocketing into first place with the eco. 880 versus Team 1's 600. That is almost 300 mass in their favor, Team 2's favor specifically. Not looking good for Team 1 in terms of just all of the everything they have access to, in terms of how fast they can produce units, what they can build. But Moore charges in full bore and gets absolutely counterattacked and destroyed for it. Team 1 has lost one of the pink players. His comms, not the player yet. We'll see if he transfers anything over or not. Again, more cruisers, more destroyers coming online for Team 2. And now it is a 4v3 with comms left alive. Still in favor for Team 1. And the remaining comms, of course, on the western side for Team 2. Zum going for a nano upgrade. And Nomander is now in the main base for Team 2's Veleron. Just absolutely not letting up. Look at all of the stuff that doesn't really exist anymore for Team 2's eastern front. He might just establish a base down there and be done with it. We could maybe have a base trade happening with Team 2 going this way and Team 1 going this way. It's probably going to depend on how fast those players react, as well as, of course, if Team 2's Navy falls back and tries to stop some of this push. They can't get all the way into the landmass with their range, but at least some of it. And ASF's covering the ground forces. Team 1, not really that much, if not any ASFs for Team 1. I don't see any on the map. Team 2 not really pressing the advantage with air that they most definitely have. I mean, Team 1 could try to counter with AA, but again, given the eco situation, to be fair, Team 1 has caught up considerably. Veleron has lost a lot of his mass income. He's not out of the game just yet, but Fire raining in on the remaining stuff that he owns, at least here. He still has a T2 naval headquarters and units in Navy, but again, he's not really producing a lot of mass, which means he can't really build a lot of things, which means he might just run out of the everything here shortly. Advanced Nano is done for Zum. Hey, maybe he'll go for a nice little splash upgrade. Looks like he's moving eastward to try to defend against the continuous Harbinger push from Nomander. Man, this guy is just full send it today, not stopping anytime soon. Gotta go fast and gotta just stomp forward. Blaze is moving in to kill off the land invasion from Team 2's extra mass blocker. And a Ythotha is online. And there's a lot of T3 Serenities here that will no longer exist for at least a while. They are getting absolutely focused down. Team 1's kind of done with the mobile artillery, it looks like. There are some snipers also mixed in there, and the snipers are starting to focus fire on the chicken. Unfortunately, the chicken will be able to not only out DPS the everything here. If the chicken doesn't move, that's a different story, but at least in terms of the actual raw damage and hit points, it's just going to be a win for Team 1 that way. Team 1's probably not going to get back into Navy. Team 2's pretty much keeping an eye on most of the spots. It looks like someone's having some power issues. I thought I saw the radar go down for a moment. Now we have Nomander being hit by multiple sets of missiles. And now we have T3 battleships online for Team 2's vessels, which is pulling out all the stops in Navy. Technically, all the stops would be the Torrent and the Experimentals and the Neptune and a nuke sub, or technically in this case the battle nuke or battleship nuke. And now we have Nomander's forces pushing northward, going into Extra Mass's base. Extra Mass is not going to have a lot of extra mass to spare after this. Zum is actually not able to catch up because the Harbingers move fairly quickly, and they're targeting every force that's nearby. We do see a couple of PD here trying to help shoot, but it's just an absolute evisceration. Look at this. Team 1's Nomander has almost claimed the entire eastern side alone. We do see a couple of lightning tanks escorting MSGs. He might just establish a base down there and call it a day. His base is perfectly fine. No air facility for Team 1 and T3 tech. We see T2 there to the east, and we do see one T3, but not a lot of stuff producing ASFs. Some now, but it's been a while since Team 1 really has produced much of anything. In the air department, at least. Nomander continuing to just get kill after kill in wherever he can manage it. And he's just sending out a couple of sets of Harbingers every once in a while, but it's consistent and it's non-stop. And it's pulling a lot of attention away from the front line. You can see a huge clump of forces from Team 2 has to fall back to deal with this, and even Zum has to move eastward to deal with this. It's able to at least maybe distract at a bare minimum this continual engagement going actually that way. I can draw correctly. It's northward, not southward. Chicken is moving eastward from Team 1's Plum, trying to avoid all of this. This would be a nice target, essentially just going straight across and wiping out all of the headquarters, as we have a T3 Aeon one as well in the Naval Department. T2 still the focus for Belleron. It's Seraphim and Aeon navies. So torrents are possible. We just haven't seen them yet. Oh, I say that, and that's literally what he's building. So we will see them shortly. It looks like the bases are starting to be overwhelmed for Nomander. There's just so much missile fire. It just won't stop. We have Blazes over here helping to thin out the herd at least a little bit, or at least force the herd back. And the chicken has now emerged onto the landmass. It's in the yellow, but it looks like it has spotted somebody on Team 2, and they are within range, at least with their main cannon and secondary cannon. And Vessel is just going to take the hit, it looks like, at least do some damage to the chicken with some AoE, and I don't even think it actually did get hit by that AoE. Nice kill on the comm for Team 1's Plum. And now there are 2 comms remaining. Team 2 is 2 steps away from being defeated. If you take a look at it that way, we do see lots of not the fighter bombers over top to try to thin out the chicken's hit points. T3 mexes are going to be, at least one of them is going to die here shortly. Might get an extra little bit of mass kill. Yes, it is, to survive at least a little bit longer. T3 PGen, that's going to hurt a little bit. There goes that. How is Vessel's power? Not great, but not terrible. ASFs get absolutely annihilated from Team 1. And it looks like maybe one T3 Mex would be killed. Yep, just one more. That's going to be it. A little bit of reclaim for Team 2. But look at this. Again, there's a lot of stuff closer to the pond that's eliminated. But Nomander is pushing in on the outer edge of the map. And that's a lot of stuff to have. Even just that set of mexes down there is a big chunk of Team 2's mass they're just not going to have per second. Lots of mass denial. Team 1 now in the lead for income at 990. Or actually 1,000 at this point. Team 2's dropped to about 750. I thought Navy would play even a bigger role given it's a central point on the map, but Nomander's like, nah, it's fine. I'm just going to go land around the edge and call it a day. And he's about the 50% mark of the map in terms of if you draw a line vertical. That's not exact, but it's pretty, it's representative of just how much of the map he's actually crossed into Team 2's territory. Missile inbound from MSG from Team 2's side of the map, raining in on to Team 2's mexes now. We have no TMD being built yet. There will probably be built some here shortly. There goes that T2 mex. That's 9 mass a second. Gone from extra mass blockers income. We do see there's still some forces for Valorant existing. Anybody else on Team 2 is still there. We did see Autoloper donated everything over originally, and then he's now at 0 mass a second. And then, of course, Sabdex is the only one on Team 1 that doesn't have anything to his name. Team 2 is launching a counterattack on the western side, though. Again, kind of mimicking what Nomander's doing. The GC with a lot of forces backing him up. There is no units anywhere that can stop this. Lots of PD being built here. Lots of PD being built everywhere here. And it will help. The benefit, though, for Team 1 is that it's a GC, not a chicken. This clumpage of PD would be eviscerated by a chicken just because it has a lot of AoE weapons. The GC just has the vacuum arms and the laser, so it's more single target damage. Unless the, GC doesn't go into range of the PD. That doesn't help. And the PD are being killed off faster than they can be produced, which means, of course, the GC will win that fight. There are Harbingers pushing in, and honestly, probably not the best idea. They're being essentially eradicated the moment they step within range. The shields are being depleted very quickly. Now the GC is going to be the focus, of course, for Team 1's PD line. Again, it's just one by one. And the GC will do a lot of work, to be fair, but there's just so many targets. The GC's already dropped to about 50% hit points and falling fairly quickly. And honestly, not looking good for itself. It's in the red. We have actually a couple of Nathas over top to help assist with the reduction in hit points. And the remainder of those forces from Team 2 are also being eradicated very quickly. We do see a comment made by Mass Blocker. No man are done with an experimental, most likely a GC. I don't know where he would have built it. Or it could have been handed over to him, to be fair, but I don't see it anywhere. No, I don't. Oh, no, not there. He did build an experimental. Where is it? Oh, it's down here. Yeah, he is building on Team 2's side of the map. Look at that. That's his new production facility with an Omni to boot. I love it. I love very aggressive intelligence gathering operations. Because the more you know, the more you can prepare for, and maybe the more you can win. Maybe. Not guaranteed, but any intelligence is better than no intelligence. And still some cruisers here for Team 2. We do see some, of course, some missiles on board the aircraft carriers, which are helping out a little bit as well, giving a little bit extra range to the missiles. Team 1 will have to deal with at least at a bare minimum this, and then, of course, maybe the cruisers. But a lot of AA torpedo bombers probably aren't going to be that effective. I mean, if you pull out a lot of them, maybe, but not small amounts. We do see a chicken starting to rummage around the front line for Team 2. And now we have MSG hanging out in the pond there, while we have Team 2 Zum pushing eastward with his nano gun and T2. I was semi-expecting to see a splash upgrade, but I guess not. Torrents, of course, are online for Team 2's extra mass blocker. And we do see a chicken, still running around the front line. GC is going to intercept that chicken in a 1v1 fight. The GC wins, counting the Ion Storm. If the Ion Storm is in range, and it's, again, a constant 1v1 fighting, close range, that it will be a draw at a bare minimum. MMLcom says extra mass blocker. I would assume mobile missile launcher is probably what I would assume that's what that means. And GC just absolutely annihilates with the assistance of some Harbingers. Looks like a bigger group of forces. And there goes Zum going, nope, I'm going home now. Bye. I'm going to take the pond route. Missiles bypassing some of the TMD that would have been built, on the front line that's here. No, that's not the front line. This is the front line for Team 1 behind Team 2's front line. This base is utterly almost destroyed, and it's just an absolute running amok for Team 1's Nomander, just crushing it, that eastern side. Lots of torrents, though. That's not helping things. Team 1 does have TMD, not that much TMD. And that is not going well, or at least will not soon go well. Lots of Team D, though, here for Team 1's Plums. That probably will be enough. That GC is not going to help things, though. And again, there's still a decent amount of PD. A chicken is being built here now. We do see, again, they're scooping up all the other dead PD and trying to build the chicken sooner rather than later. But that GC will most likely intercept it if it does go on a direct course. And that will not be good for Team 1. Chicken also in the pond moving northeast where the SMD is online and almost done for Poker. He has the regular shield online with the advanced range. So Aeon Sniper Mini Tank online for him. Still no T3 air. Super big presence from Team 1. It's just primarily this base right here. Team 2 has a lot more ASFs to play with. Still a little concerned. They're not trying to use it even more to their advantage. Go for, lots of Nathas, lots of strats, just something. And crash damage probably will not kill off the GC. It will damage the chicken, though. Oh, it actually won't even kill it. So there's that. But chicken will live. And missiles still being launched from MSG's come now into the back line, killing off some T3 mexes. That's going to hurt a lot for Team 2. They've lost a lot of mexes towards the eastern half, and now losing western mexes is not good. Team 1's still kind of retaining control of the western front, but it's definitely not looking good. GC is inbound. Looks like Team 1's GC is done. That might force some falling back. We do see that's a lot of missiles. That's T2 and T3 missiles with a couple of other units to help protect one battleship and one sub. Because why not? And we have Team D being built now, but they killed off 3 mexes before he was stopped, so that's a lot of mass. Technically, if they were T3 single ring, that's 27 times 3. That is 81 mass a second gone from Team 2's total mass per second. Chicken inbound, actually from Team 1. I thought it was Team 2's, but no, that's Team 1's chicken. We have a GC now running right head first into that PD battery. 33 minutes on the clock. Let me know down in the comments if you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't, because why not at this point? Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so very much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. As we watch MSG being absolutely focused by Team 2's torpedo bombers from Rizam. He built 1 AA emplacement. I would get, honestly, onto the land because those torps might be enough to kill him a second go around. There it is. Yeah, I think had he made it onto, or started to go to land first, he probably would have been fine, but he decided to try to go for a little bit more sneaky tactics. The SAM site, or actually not a SAM site, a guided flak cannon is still online. Chicken is dead for Team 1. Team 1 lost their chicken. Team 2 lost their GC, I believe. And now this base is just being riddled with holes. Pokerstein has a ton of flare. Volcano's online, but still not looking good for him. We do have Nathas over here going after the GC. Again, similar thing. It's that in the background, not good. Sorry, didn't see, says Plum. While we're talking about this. And chicken is online, driving away the GC. A couple of battleships and an aircraft carrier. Most of the missiles are right here. Sorry, right there. Ignore the little chunk of that. And now we can kind of see even more of a kind of pushing back from the naval department situation just because of the range on those torrents. I wouldn't be surprised to see torp bombers be built at some point to target that GC. Team 2, similar situation. They're kind of being thinned down near the pond on that southeastern side. But again, it's still a huge effort from Team 1's Nomad. They're getting very, very far. Lines of PD, literally just drawing lines in the sand. We do have another GC inbound. It's on the water situation coming up where MSG died. At least his comm died. He's not out of the game just yet. Looks like it's 4 players pretty much still in the game. We do see a little bit of income for more, but it's pretty much just Plum over on that western side. So technically 5. Similar situation here for Team 2. It's mainly 2 players, being Zum and Celine, with some remnants of both Velarone and Extra Mass Blockader as well. But at least he's been given a nice focus on the units, use those, focus on that. He's doing very well with just, again, constantly annoying Team 1. And that is a nice thing, though, about even though your comm's gone and you don't have a lot of mass or anything to your name, you can still be given units to micro, and he's doing, again, very well of just punching through defenses, and Team 1 just cannot stop to rest for a moment. Because if they do, it's going to be just absolute annihilation. And that GC is getting closer and closer. Does Team 2 notice it? They know about the MML comm, or they did know about the MML comm before they destroyed it. Up air, says Pokerstein. Not looking good. More mechs is being eliminated for Team 1. Team 2 is in the lead. Was I reading those numbers wrong the entire time? Was Team 2 in the lead the entire time for mass? I could have been entirely mistaken. My bad. Sometimes when the Team 1 and Team 2 flip for their score, I wish it would just stay Team 1 on top, Team 2 on the bottom. That way it just makes it really easy, but they don't do that. 2 chickens near Celine's comm. That's not fun for him. And where is... Yep, he's down there. Zumba's right there hanging out with Aras. We do see the chicken. GC has been spotted. It will take significant damage before it gets to the land, but again, there's a lot of T1 PD. It might help out, but we will see. Launching the assault on the front line, though, from Nomander. 2 GCs this time. Some shielding has been built. A chicken is almost done. It's almost in the green, but I don't know. There's now 2 chickens headed southward, and it honestly might just be a squish happening with a little bit of a nice little attack from the middle situation. This is a huge distraction for Team 1, allowing the main force to push in. We do see some gunships online for Team 2's vessel to help assist a little bit, but that front line is devastated. It's going to give a lot more pressure on that eastern front. And there is a GC from Celine. There's another GC online. But again, it's 2 chickens. Even if both die, they're probably going to target mexes and just annihilate it with the ion storm. So it's going to do a lot of damage. GC is in the air grid going straight for the P-gens. And its laser stops firing for a brief moment. No idea why. T3 landed quarters is going to be secured. P-gen did not get destroyed, but how is some power nonetheless? Looks like a recall vote has been started for Team 2 by somebody. One of them already said no. And that GC will kill off that chicken, but again, this chicken's going to kill off some eco, so it's kind of a trade. And it actually should just continue southeast, not even stop. Kill off all the T3 mexes and continue. Looks like somebody, actually probably more, is just say keep going, because this GC will catch up at some degree, or at least try to catch up. Team 2 has almost eradicated the western half of Team 1, but again, there's still this problem right here. And now we have Vessel's base being hit by those double GCs. PD going to be built, or at least try to be built as quickly as possible. Shield's about to go down, and P-gens are going to be decently focused, and that cascade is going to hurt considerably. T3 area quarters is going to be knocked out once again, so Team 2 is now lacking in air. GC actually is able to catch up to the chicken, but the chicken is able to kill off the GC, and now they're going to probably target the remainder maybe of Celine's base. We'll see. This base for Team 2's vessel is not looking good. Now we have a pushing back from the pond from Velarone, continuing to just thin out that conga line from Team 1's Nomander. But again, he's going to try to use the edge of the map as much as possible, which he's doing currently. Just trying to really go in and around all that nonsense. And Tort Bombers might be helpful, maybe, maybe not. Chicken is going to go for the air grid here. Now Team 2 is going to lose all of their air. GC is going to run right headfirst into a PD battery. It looks like it's just any and every mech that they can destroy is the focus now. Team 2 drops decently in eco. But that western side is pretty much gone for Team 1. Again, they're focusing now on Pokerstein's base. He's had a lot of time to build some TMD, and it's doing very well for himself. Multiple chickens online. Looks like an artillery piece coming online for MSG. GC closing in, says Pokerstein. Yep, they are aware of it. And there is a GC moving in to intercept as we speak. Chicken finally gets killed off. T3 mechs will most likely be killed off as well. And his air grid, Fazam's air grid, is not looking good. How's his power? Not terrible considering, but considering it's not great. I'm kind of surprised that Nomander hasn't kind of double backed a little bit and just crushed all of this. Again, he's trying to just force his way all the way around the edge of the map, it looks like, and just kind of encapsulate Team 2. Yeah, I got there at some point. It's just a weird word to say sometimes. Chickens, nowhere to be found for Team 1. They did have, I thought they had chickens here at some point. Where'd they go? Oh, they're right there. Oh, no, they are. They're just staring at me in the face. Look at that. GC kills off 3 T3 mixes, I would presume. Yup. And that's a lot of mats for Team 1 gone. Now they're in the... numbers. Now keep jumping. They keep doing things. Give me transport. I kill air, says Plum. And looks like he might just... Oh, is he going to try to control K next to the ASFs and blow him up? That could be one way to handle this, considering that, again, the comm doesn't indicate that the player is gone from the game. It just means that, okay, you just don't have a comm anymore. And we'll see if that actually ends up being the ploy from Team 1. They're just shoving the GC in the pond at this point. Looks like he's going to hook all the way around and go after Nomander's base now. Land forces are getting closer and closer, but there's a lot of flak here, and there's 2 GCs. That base for Zum is not long for this world by any means, and now we see Nomander starting to push a little bit more onto that more midsection of just this huge conga line that's happening. It's not just 1, it's not just 2, it's all the conga lines. Team D has been annihilated, and that SMD is now loaded for a 3rd anti-nuke missile. But again, no nukes from Team 2 that I've seen, so not a big worry. Could have been a worry, but is not. Nomander, so I mean, yeah, kind of. I wouldn't say he's the 100% reason why Team 1 is currently winning or is going to win. But, yeah, it's not looking good for Team... Literally, I don't know why Veleron got Go Navy. I mean, yeah, probably should have focused a little bit more on land. Maybe it would have slowed down Nomander's push. We do see Plum is going all the way around. Looks like those Harbingers from Team 2, Celine, again, kind of, mirroring what Nomander's doing. But it took a lot longer to get where Team 1 currently is, and I think that time difference is really hurting. Lots of Zooies just carving anything and everything away. And not really a lot left for Team 2, or even Team 1. I mean, it's just this northeastern corner. Team 2 has this southwestern corner, and that's really it in terms of, main base stuff. GC does get intercepted by the chicken. Lots of the everything being thrown at this by Nomander. Pokerstein's comm moving in to try to intercept at least a little bit. Ion Storm might help stop the GC. If the GC isn't being microed, it might be enough. Oh, Ion Storm is getting some nice hits in. Another T3 mix is gone. GC turns around. Oh, I don't think it's going to be enough. He's probably going to... Oh, he's going to be close. Oh, he's not dead. Oh, turns around. Shouldn't have turned around. Pokerstein's right there, though. Overcharge might be enough. He doesn't have overcharge. Oh, there he goes. Not enough to kill off the comet. Chicken is inbound. And Pokerstein's comm is gone. Almost all of his stuff is gone. Looks like... Where did Plum go? Did Plum die up somewhere and I didn't notice? No, Plum's down here. There he is. I was going to say, I thought he was over here somewhere. And it's just a race to the bottom at this point in terms of what base is going to be destroyed first. Looks like somebody on Team 1 circling the comm of Nomad, no idea why. And it looks like GC still marching on. There's a GC in this base. They just are... Why aren't they wiping everything out? Laser's not activated, which is a little odd. They're going after, I think, every mechs, I think, is... Or most of the mechs, I guess. Now the eco's dropping 600 for Team 1, 500 for Team 2. It's just all the GCs at this point. Just every single GC that Nomander can muster. That's what he's doing. He's doing very well for himself, though. Carving in behind all of the expansion efforts by Celine. He's like, nope, you're not getting as far as I did. Nope. We have T3 artillery online, focusing on this base. Looks like it actually hits one of the battleships. That's a lot of PD being built in a couple of shieldings. Surprised multiple GCs haven't gone after it yet. Zelm is still hanging in there. Not looking terrible, but also not looking as good as he did moments ago, at least a couple minutes ago. 44 minutes on the clock. Is there a... Nope. And nope. So nobody's going to try to leave at this point. And we have multiple players on both teams having nothing to their name. 3 of them on Team 2, 3 of them on Team 1, and then Plum, technically, because he has 1 mass a second. I don't know what he's going to do down here. He was going to say he's going to go after those ASFs, but they're not really being active at this point, so I don't really know. Chicken might just come and say hi, and it looks like that's what's going to happen. We have Nomad coming in with some TMD, trying to help at least a little bit, at least to do as much as he can. The battleships are really what's doing in that artillery installation, or soon going to deliver that artillery installation to its conclusion in the game. But it looks like a lot more of that presence for Team 2 is now gone there. Essentially, it's just this spot here and this spot here near the ponds. And we just have a cleansing of the western side from Nomander. GC is getting close to Zum, but it looks like Zum is just getting out of there, reclaiming as much as he can, trying to build the Chicken as fast as possible. That's probably not going to happen. And Chicken comes into the water and says, hey, will you stop shooting at us for 5 seconds, please? We're trying to build a nice little thing here, and you're just causing us annoyances. And Chicken will most likely be killed by the naval units. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is, A, to give a little bit more breathing room to build more stuff and to just kill off as much as you can. Transport picks up the comm of Zum. He gets out of there, and that's an evisceration of that base at this point. Looks like artillery is still landing near this little PD base. More mexes are being gone. Team 2 is at 300 mass per second. Team 1's now at 700, double the eco for Team 1. And their efforts to expand are not really going well. And looks like it's just, yeah, carving everything away at this point. GC's still running amok down here for Nomander. And tons of ASFs to kill off the transport. That's unfortunate for Plum. It looks like he was going to try to control K on top of the ASFs. That doesn't happen. But I just don't know what the ASFs are going to do at this point. There's really nothing they can do. Team 1 didn't really go air. I mean, they went a couple of squadrons of ASFs. That's really, and a couple of gunships maybe. That's really about it. This base is pretty much gone from Team 2's vessel. Looks like Velen trying to get some more power and mass going, but that's probably not going to happen. And 47 minutes on the clock. Artillery, again, did get a little bit of buffer with the Chicken, helping to get more TMD. That's going to do a lot. Now, the shots from the destroyers and whatever battleship remains, why is that one not going to just... Oh, it is collapsing. It looked like it was just stuck upright. GC's carved away pretty much everything here. He's now at 1-star vet. Pretty much everything is gone. And extra mass blockers. Team recalls. Team 1 wins the game. Control K from Celine. Everything is gone. Team 1 wins the game. Technically, they had no casualties, given the scoreboard that nobody technically died. Technically, or wasn't fully eliminated. But at the end there were 2 comms left. And it was Zum and Celine. I didn't see Celine die at some point. Team 1, we had Plum over here, and then we had Nomander, and then MSG was killed off with the missile, whatnot, and then Pokerstein also died to the GC. So yeah, there was actually only 2 players left for each team, but Team 1 had such a better situation going on, and yeah, just Nomander absolutely killed it with all those GCs, and Harbingers. It was a Harbingers and then GC just push, and then push some more. And that was it. So technically nobody got killed, but technically player comms died, whatnot. So I don't know if it's really a kiss of death. It could be. I don't know. But hopefully everybody enjoyed nonetheless. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that YouTube goodness. And I will see all of you in the next one.